Hi, everyone. Welcome on to Comic Book Women.
Hi.
Laura, hi, from Bird City Comics, joined by the one and only Lucy.
Lucy.
At Mama Comic. And, of course, we got Jen, Comic Aficionado. We go live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the damn channel. This is a good show. You want to be watching it. You want to be sharing it out and getting as many people involved because of the things that we do, like tonight. We have a very, very special guest, the one and only Barbra Dillon from Fanbase Press. She is the editor-in-chief over there, is joining us for the night. We are also, I know, isn't that exciting? I'm pumped about it. I'm really pumped. I'm thrilled to have her on. It's going to be some good content coming up. We also will be doing a giveaway book. So make sure you are active in the comments. At some random point, whenever Lucy says, do it, we're going to give away a book to somebody who's commenting and participating and interacting in the show. So make sure that you're very active over there. And yeah, we will be right back with the interview, so don't go anywhere. Okay, we are back, and here we are. We have Barbra Dillon. Barbra, how you doing?
I'm good. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome.
So honored to have you on tonight. If you guys are just hopping on in, this is an editor-in-chief. What a badass title, first of all. I wish I could be called an editor-in-chief of anything, of Fanbase Press. So to kick it off, can you tell everybody that's watching a little bit about Fanbase?
Absolutely. So Fanbase Press is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. We are a comic book publishing company as well as a geek culture website. Our tagline is that we both celebrate fandoms and create new ones. And by that, I mean not only comics and graphic novels from a number of indie creators, but we also support other creators that even though we don't publish. We have a staff all across the country that does daily reviews, interviews. We have a whole podcast network, and we love to provide a safe, positive, and inclusive environment for creators of all experience levels, and especially indie creators to have a platform and a voice to share their work.
Wow, that's amazing. That is so cool.
You said 10 years now, right? Congratulations. That alone is just a huge accomplishment.
Thank
you. We're looking at your webpage over here. So like you said, there's just so many different opportunities for people, even if you're not publishing them, you said, right?
Exactly. Because, everyone wants to work for a Marvel or DC when they're growing up. And obviously there are a finite number of comic book titles and positions that creators can work on. But that doesn't mean that there aren't tons of wonderfully talented creators out there who are either self-publishing their work or working with other publishing companies. So we want to be able to equally provide opportunities for folks to share their stories and share their work.
That's fantastic. So how does that work? Do you find people or do they come to you?
We've been very fortunate that for the past, I'd say 9 years out of the 10 that we've been publishing, all of our publications have been solicited to us. So we are very fortunate in that regard, and we've had the opportunity to work with a number of really stellar creators on various projects, bringing them to life. And that's ranged from, we really try to appeal to all different genres of comics. We have everything from horror and fantasy to sci-fi, all ages superheroes. We even have a horror poetry book and a geeky crafting book. So
that's awesome.
We try to appeal to everyone.
And where they can order all this, they can order the comic books through your website?
Absolutely. We have a number of different ways that readers can purchase our comics. If you're a fan of physical comics, we have our very own online store, so you can purchase them directly through us. Everything is also available on Amazon. And for those that maybe prefer digital comics, we are available through Comixology. And as long as you have a library card and you're in the US, you can actually go to your local library or go online, especially during the pandemic, and read all of our comics through Hoopla as well.
Oh, wow. That is so cool.
You made that incredibly easy, multiple ways. I mean, like, I can't think of anything else. You guys have carrier pigeons that will bring me my comic book to my door. I want a pigeon from Fanbase at my step. It's like, hey,
You got it.
that's fantastic. That's what we need is, you know, publishers and websites like yours that are making it easy for people to access these stories. This is fantastic. Can you give us, well, actually, I'm going to kind of lead you into what I want to talk about here because I am excited. You guys, Sandman, their miniseries released today. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Of course, absolutely. So as I mentioned, we have a whole podcast network. At any given time, we have about 5 or 6 podcasts that we're producing and put out for listeners. Our flagship podcast, which has been running for 10 years now, is called the Fanbase Weekly. And that's a weekly conversation podcast. We have guests from all different avenues of geekdom, not just comics, but TV, movies, theater, gaming, etc. And we discuss our top 4 geek stories of the week. And what we do is that oftentimes we do very special editions of the podcast called Fanbase Features. And we actually just today launched a Fanbase Feature mini-series. We've got a wonderful group of storytellers who love Neil Gaiman's iconic series, The Sandman. And
who doesn't, right?
Right?
Oh,
and what they're doing is over 10 episodes. Within each episode, they're going to focus on each one of the trade paperbacks of the Sandman series. So it just launched today. They're doing the first trade paperbacks. You can listen to it now. And we're on all of the podcast platforms. You can hear us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, absolutely everything, as well as directly on our website.
Awesome. I was just going to ask you, you beat me to it. Where can we find you? Well, you can pretty much anywhere we can find you.
Exactly.
That's awesome. That is
really quickly here, I got to go backwards a second because somebody in the chat wants to know what got you interested in comics in the first place.
That's a really great question. So when I was little, I grew up in my parents' mom and pop convenience store. And we had one of the old-fashioned spinner racks, very much like, I don't know if you can see it, but like the one that I have, a newfangled one next to me right here. We had very limited comics. I really didn't know what a thriving and broad medium the comics industry was. So we had Archie comics, we had an occasional X-Men comic, and we had Barbie comics, and that's it. So that's all that I knew existed.
wow.
But I was such a huge fan of X-Men, the animated series in the 90s, that really was what kind of piqued my interest. And then,
oh my gosh, you and Jen, wasn't that your thing, Jen, growing up?
Yeah, cool.
And Eric and Julia Lewald, who were the creators behind that series, are now dear friends, and they're absolutely amazing. And it's such like a childhood, dream to have met them and befriended them now because they were so influential on my creative path. But I later grew aware of how broad a wonderful medium the comics industry was. I started on Watchmen and Preacher, and then really expanded from there.
That is so cool. That's an awesome
beautiful.
story.
Do you guys get teary-eyed hearing stories like that? When you have somebody that started as a child, like, I mean, this is a childhood thing, and now it's your job. That is, in my opinion, life.
That's
you can
amazing.
just check everything out. You are doing everybody's dream. You're doing what you love, and that's so cool.
That is so awesome. Oh.
Yeah, it's very, very neat. All right, so you have Sandman coming up, and then there's another one we wanted to talk about. Lucy especially was excited about this one. Quince.
Quince. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to ask you about this. How did you guys come up with this concept? I mean, as a Mexican girl, growing up, quinceañera, quince, it's a big celebration. You go from the being a kid to womanhood, and it's so awesome to see actually, seeing this and putting it out there for the Hispanic community.
Well, thank you. That's definitely one of our goals. We want, again, all of our titles to be very inclusive and to resonate with readers of all kinds. And Quince came to us from a creator that we had previously worked with. His name is Sebastian Kadlicek, and we had published his series Penguins versus Possums. And he really wanted to tell a story that was very heartfelt and very much about his heritage and his family. And so he brought the first issue of Quince to us. And it was one of those lightning in a bottle finds that when you read it, you're like, this is so amazing. I hope that you understand, Sebastian, how amazing this is. And what we did with it is across the year of 2017, and in keeping with the title Quince, we did 15 issues of the series.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah. And,
that's poetic.
Yeah.
And what was really great is that, so for those unfamiliar, it's about a young Latina who is 15, and she discovers that she gets superpowers on her quinceañera, but she only has them for the year that she's 15. And in addition to there being 15 issues, we also released them simultaneously in both English and Spanish.
I was just going to ask you that. I noticed that it was also in Spanish, which that's even better because you are going not only like the people who speak English, but also the Spanish speakers, like it can go anywhere. So it's pretty awesome.
Thank you. And so what we did is we released everything digitally in English and Spanish. We initially put out a collected trade paperback, a soft cover in English. Our dream was always to do so in Spanish as well. And earlier this year, in January, actually, we just released an oversized hardcover called Quince, the Definitive Bilingual Edition. That's the cover that viewers are seeing right now. Yeah. And what it is it's a huge hardcover, but if you read it one way, it has the entire English language version plus forewords by folks like Peter Murrieta from Mr. Iglesias and Gloria Calderon-Kellett from One Day at a Time, study guides, everything, lots of bonus features. If you flip it over, you get the same exact thing in Spanish. So that's available right now, and that's what viewers are
smart. That is so awesome. And I would love to see this make into a movie or show or something like that because it's a great show. Cool. And I love that her hair is curly. My hair is curly. So I just love it. And seeing a Latina out there representing the community like that, especially with the Quince, it's a big deal, and almost in every family. I mean, a lot of people don't understand how families they save, once they have a little girl, they know they have to save for the Quince because it doesn't matter what you need to have that party.
I went to one. It was like a wedding, like a legit wedding. It was crazy, so insane how much effort, and they had to get all these matching gowns, and it was an event. I mean, people are like, oh, it's like a sweet 16. Yeah, it's bigger than a sweet 16. It's very cool. And just the concept of itself, my kids are half Mexican. So the idea, this is like a perfect book for them to kind of learn Spanish. What a great way to kind of flip the book, and you can teach yourself. And it's just such a unique concept.
Yeah. Jen, you don't have anything to add to this?
Right. Well, I thought it was cool that it was an Eisner Award nominated. I've been looking at a lot of those comics lately. And so when I saw that, I was like, that's very cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, the initial series was Eisner nominated. We were so fortunate. And honestly, that's been what has been so helpful in getting the word out about Quince. The series overall is having received many awards and nominations over the past few years has really allowed us to reach libraries and educators all across the world. So we've been very fortunate.
That is so cool. I need
to
buy this. Yeah,
I know, right? We all want this now.
Yeah, I need to read this.
Very quickly, I'm heading back over to the chat here real quick. They have another question for you, Barbara. They were to sprinkle these in. Do you have an all-time favorite mainstream, so DC or Marvel story? Or an independent publisher story? I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't give you any time to think about this.
Yes, it's so hard. I mean, I would just say, and it's so hard for all-time favorites. That's tough because there are so many different genres and whatnot. I would say just some ones that off the top of my head come to mind. Blankets by Craig Thompson, I really love. Watchmen is fantastic, although I also really love the new TV adaptation on HBO with Regina King. It was phenomenal. And really brought a lot of, I think, what was, even though I love the original comic book series, what was flawed about it, I think, was perhaps improved upon by the TV show. I love Squirrel Girl because it's fun. I mean, I don't know if it's one of my all-time favorites, but I love it.
I've actually read that one. That's great. No, I like that.
Yeah, there's so many great comics out there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one to answer. I agree. Okay, so coming up, we were looking at some stuff that you have coming up. Do you want to give us a little bit of information about something called nuclear power? Nuclear power. There we go.
Absolutely. So we're super excited about Nuclear Power. It is a powerhouse creative team, and it's all women. So I'll highlight that first. All three came to us from the all three creators came to us from the DC Comics Talent Workshop. So we have Erica Harrell and Desiree Proctor, who are the writers, and they do a lot of writing for video games and television as well. And Lynn Yoshi is the illustrator, and you can see there some of the covers. It's a six-issue series. Lynn does amazingly beautiful work. But essentially, this is an alternate history tale, and perhaps a little too prescient for the times that we're living in right now here in the U.S. It talks about an alternate history of the Cuban Missile Crisis. What would have happened if the bomb had been dropped? And so we see the lengths to which a government will go to, and I'm going to do air quotes, to protect or perhaps more appropriately to deceive its citizens. And it tackles, because it's female creators and because the writers are of Cuban descent, they really wanted to talk about immigration. They wanted to talk about women's rights, the right to choose, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So it has a lot of really ingrained, deep themes. It's a phenomenal series, definitely for mature readers, but we're super excited. And it's going to launch digitally first, starting in April of 2021. And then the trade paperback will come out in October of next year, timed actually with the anniversary of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh, wow.
That is stunning.
I was just gonna ask. So it's just gonna be hardcovers. It's not gonna be individual the comic book issue.
So the what we usually do, because we're an independent publisher and because single issues can be so pricey to print, we usually do single issues digitally first, and then collect everything into a collected softcover.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I want to read this too. It sounds really, and the art, I really like it.
Yeah, I put a little note down so I remember.
I know. I need to write it down too. But yeah, this sounds really awesome, and I love that it's to support all the creative woman. I mean, it just that goes on my to read list.
We're describing it as The Handmaid's Tale meets the X-Men. So it's a little
okay. That's badass. Really? That's how you. I'm a huge Handmaid's Tale fan, so that's the perfect way to sell this. What an awesome combination! I think this sounds fantastic. So out there, you guys in the chat, do what Jen just did and make a note, and we'll make sure that we keep bringing it up and reminding you as it gets closer. But this is definitely a series. Even though, like Barbara said, the themes might get a little bit deep, that's what this is about, is finding some stories that can really ignite conversation, get people thinking, get the wheels turning. I think that's fantastic. And the artwork, oh my God.
Lynn is amazing.
Amazing. It's absolutely stunning. Somebody in the chat over here was saying about the Quince, that they're glad that comics are being made for and about girls because it seems hard for girls to relate to male-centric heroes. Which, I mean, you couldn't have said that better. That's exactly right. And here again is another example, though, where you're giving female creators a platform to just really do their stuff, I'm excited about it. I'm very, very excited about this.
Yeah.
Hold on real quick here. Do you have any other upcoming stuff that you wanted to bring up?
Oh, we have another series in development. It's a bit too early for me to tell right now. But
Be patient.
yeah, sadly, we hope to announce probably early next year. But otherwise, I would just say always feel free to visit us at the website, fanbasepress.com. We're on all of the social medias. And as I said, even when we're not actively publishing something right now, our staff all across the country is working so hard every day to really bring greater visibility to creators of all kinds, not just comics, but again, all across all entertainment mediums through reviews, interviews, and podcasts. So, and feel free if you out there watching right now are a creator, we are happy to accept review material. We're happy to interview you regarding your work. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
Wow.
Drew
Thank you.
here wants to know if you've been approached to have any of your titles adapted for film or TV. Can you tell us?
I'm going to have to remain really tight-lipped right now.
Understandable.
But yes, the short
Just
answer
buy
is
everything.
Help us
Buy
Tuesday.
everything, because some things will go on film. Like, it's just like what Lucy was saying. There's so many good opportunities there to have any of these adapted for film or TV. Before we let you go, I know we're a little bit over here, but Jen wanted to bring up the sequels.
yes.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the ones that when I was doing some research for today that like caught my eye, and I'm like, oh man, and I'm gonna order it because I like the physical.
Absolutely. So the sequels, it was a really fantastic series. It's a 4-issue series written by Norm Harper, and it really tackles the idea of 80s nostalgia and whether sometimes it can be a little dangerous for us to hold nostalgia a little too tightly and not to let things from the past go. And so what we did is that it's about 4 youngsters who essentially are the leads from those 80s Steven Spielberg movies. So if you imagine like Elliot from E.T., the Monster Squad, Flight of the Navigator, that sort of thing. What happens to these characters 30 years later? You know, you kind of, if you meet an alien when you're 12, you kind of peak at 12. So where do you go in life from there? And so we see what their life trajectory has taken them 30 years later. And a mysterious figure brings them all back together for one last adventure or one last sequel. And they really have to kind of come to terms with their childhood imaginations and what that means for their future. What's really fantastic about this series is that we had Don Aguilio, who did all of the beautiful covers, but then inside for the interior art, we had Val Halverson, who is now working on Finger Guns, and we also had Bobby Timoney, and Bobby actually did the artwork for when the kids were in the 80s, so when they were teenagers, and then Val did the artwork for modern day. So you kind of alternate between 2 different art styles between the 2 different time periods.
That's cool. Wow, every book just sounds so amazing.
I know the story sounds so good. No wonder Jen was drawn to this one, though. She's in a Stranger Things phase right now, so she's really into anything 80s. So this is like right up your alley, right? This is perfect. Okay, well, very good. So again, guys, if you're out there and you're listening, make sure that you go to fanbasepress.com. If you're a creator or if you want to reach out to Barbara, she said she's more than willing to have people reach out to you, right? And if you're a creator, are you on Instagram?
We are on Instagram, yes. And Fanbase Press is on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well at Barbra J. Dillon. I'm on Twitter. Please feel free to reach out to me. I'm super amenable to outreach. I'm happy to, even if we're not publishing someone, because obviously we're a small company, we can only publish so many titles. That doesn't mean that I'm not happy to answer any and all questions about publishing and everything in between.
Awesome.
I mean,
So
does it get any
her.
better than that?
Yeah, message her, guys.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming out. We're going to go ahead and let you go, and we appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Barbara.
Nice to chat with you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Barbara.
We'll have to have
All
her
right,
back.
guys. What do you think of that?
I think we'll have to have her back in April.
Yeah.
I think
Oh
we
my
can read that
gosh, they
book.
have so much good stuff, and she's so nice. Like, she's not like one of like intimidating editor-in-chief. I kind of picture one in like red bottom heels walking through the office, like
Prada way.
so nice. Oh, that made me happy.
awesome.
So many good stories coming out. The Quince thing, I think, was the best one. Wow.
All of them. I like all of them. I mean, I want to read all of them.
Okay, guys,
yes.
really quickly. We are going to do the giveaway book. So Wanted Comics contacted us and wanted to donate a book for somebody that was active in the comments. So we're going to do it flip side style. Brian, our producer in the background, is going to run through the comments. And as soon as Lucy says stop, he'll pick one.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'll cover my eyes, guys. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, stop. Who won?
Nope. Try it again. Go get it.
Yeah.
You're welcome, guys. Okay. 1, 2,
Rigged.
3. Stop. Is it again? Okay.
No.
Kev's
Okay.
Collectibles.
Kev's Collectibles.
Yay.
Very cool website. Was the comment
Congratulations.
that won. So that's perfect. Congratulations. Make sure that you shoot. I don't know how we get his info. We'll figure it out. We'll get your info somehow. All right. So congratulations on that. That's just another example of why you want to be active in the chats, because we give stuff away. So the girls and I are going to move on with our regular scheduled program with this week's comic book picks.
Oh, wait. You know how they can send us our information to our Instagram account?
Oh, good point, Lucy. What Instagram are you referring to?
I made an Instagram for Comic Book Woman. So make sure you guys follow us and send us our info there, Kev. So we'll get the book to you.
We got to start posting on that, right? All right.
Yes.
So we'll start tonight once Brian's back. There he is. Okay. We're going to start our weekly comic book picks. I think I'm going to be kicking off tonight's. Oh,
Yeah.
Kevin,
Yeah.
contact at Comic Book Women.
Yes.
There you go. If you want your free book.
Wait, for the women, it's on Instagram. It's woman with the MAN, right?
Oh,
Lucy?
yes. Did I? Is it? Okay. I need to then fix it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Good one. Yes.
You're all good. All right. So my pick this week for comics was a little bit different, a little bit outside my wheelhouse. I typically read a lot of indie stuff, but I was like, you know what? Anthony and I had just got in the Punchline #1, and I'm like, I want to read this story that I've been seeing everywhere. Because, I mean, you guys, there's been so many Punchline variants. They've been everywhere. And the story itself, I was thinking, okay, I wonder how this is going to be. So I went ahead and gave it a go. And I started Punchline #1. Jen, have you read this? So I guess today is like the first day you could have read it, right?
Tomorrow. Wait.
Today.
It's not tomorrow. No.
Oh, shit. Is it tomorrow?
Oh, you know what? Because the way they deliver, I think they deliver earlier.
Right.
So it is, but no, normally it will be like on a Wednesday.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
That's all right. But either way. This is a very cool story. I heard people, like, I kind of got a mixed reviews when we first announced that we were going to be doing a Punchline cover. People are like, oh no, Punchline can't hold up against Harley, right? Oh, this story is not going to be good enough to hold its own. I respectfully disagree. The story was fantastic. It starts off, I mean, it's an origin book, but it starts off kind of giving you a little bit of a history lesson on who she is and how she became, I don't want to say crazy, but she became a little bit obsessed with the Joker. So not to give too much away, but the story starts with her in high school. Just a regular girl. She really stresses that point that she's just a regular girl in high school, and they're on a field trip to like a local news outlet. It gets a little horrific there for a second because the Joker shows up and just starts wreaking havoc, and they end up forcing her to relay a message. So she's almost like a hostage. Think of it that way. But as the book goes on, she kind of, I don't know if it's her way of coping with that experience, but she kind of uses that trauma to create a podcast called Hunt for the Joker. And she spends her time just trying to find him. She becomes obsessed with him. She's under the impression that the Joker has this elaborate joke that nobody else can understand because they haven't gotten to the punchline. Yeah. I was like, oh, I get it. No, now I get why her name's Punchline. So, anywho, it was good. The story itself was solid. I think that this character is going to have a lot of room to grow. So if you haven't already picked up a punchline #1, I would definitely do it. Not just because it's a new character and it's a spec book, blah, 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 but because the story is a solid story. This one that you're seeing on the screen is the Bird City Comics Greg Horn cover C. This is his homage to the Blood Money cover with Harley Quinn.
Oh.
So yeah, you can get that over at birdcitycomics.com. And if you use the code Flipside at the website, you will get an additional 15% off. So there's a bunch of stuff on that site. We have the punchline, then we also have the Batman Catwoman that is done by Scott Williams Sketch, Jim Lee Inks, and then Alex Sinclair Colors. So yeah, if you haven't already, go over to the website and check that out and use the code Flipside if you want an additional 15% off. Here is a couple other ones that we have. Vampirella. That is, what is the artist on this one? John Royal. Sorry. John Royal for the Vampirella, which I like this one because she has a booty on her, don't you think?
Yeah. And then
of course, Ice Cream Man by Megan Hutchinson. But I'm telling you guys, we are low. And I don't mean like, oh, we have like a little left. We have very, very few of these left. So
like low.
Yeah, check it out. Go over to Bird City Comics and use the code Flipside for 15% off. All right.
Flipside.
Yes. I guess we're going straight into my movie pick.
Yeah. Tell us, Laura. What is it? I don't know. You look disappointed. Tell me.
This is one of those ones where I was telling Anthony, normally on the shows, I'm like, oh, I love this. I love this show. This is so great. I did not like this show at all. It was, okay, for those of you who don't know, a little bit of background. This is actually meant to be the prequel for the novel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This character, Mildred Ratched, is based off of the character in that book that ended up giving the lobotomy. Did you guys ever read that book?
I didn't. I need to read it then.
Well, the idea of it is she joins or she goes to work at this psychiatric ward, and she's just evil, and not as evil as in the books, if you ask me, but she's evil. But here's my problem with this series. I started episode 1 today, and within the first couple of minutes, first off, let me say it's beautifully shot. I told Anthony, watching it, it's gorgeous to watch. The costume designs, the splashes of color that they used, the sets were phenomenal. But the story itself was just so like shock and awe for me. Like they were relying too much on gore versus like an actual solid plot line. And I watched the first episode. I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching this anymore.
I watched the first episode. I don't remember if I finished it, but I watched the first episode and I was kind of lost. I guess it's the first episode, so I was like, had so many questions. But it just felt like I was watching American Horror Story.
That's what I heard.
It's very similar in that regard, I would say. Like it doesn't... It had so much potential too. Like I said, I mean, the costumes were so well done. Sarah Paulson, I think, she got a little bit of flack for this role, but I think she did a great job. But it just, again, the story itself and the characters, I liked the music, but it was just too much. Let's see how gory and disturbing we can be. And from what I've been reading, because after I decided I wasn't going to finish it, I read up on what the next few episodes are, and I'm grateful I didn't watch them. It gets really, really effing disturbing. Anyway, this is a show that I know everybody's excited about out there. Watch it at your own discretion, but I definitely give this one a...
Yeah, I didn't even go to the second episode. I was going to say issue. The second episode, I'm like...
You guys have heard about it, though, right? Like, this has been all over Netflix.
Yeah, I heard about it.
People have been talking about it like crazy. It's been top 10 in the country for a while now. And it's like, I thought it would be so good. But again, I just found it very disappointing. One Flew doesn't really cry out for a prequel, right? I mean, I wouldn't have thought that would be a story that they just felt like they had to attack. But here we are. So anyway, that was my pick or my non-pick for this week. Put it that way.
Okay, didn't like horror stories. So yeah. Okay,
All right,
I'm
Lucy,
next.
you're up.
So this one, this is book. It's the one that I'm gonna start reading. I'm not reading it at the moment, but this is one book that a friend of mine, like he knew that I'm really interested in the Huntress, and he gave me JTP Comics. He gave me this series. I think it's like 1 through 10, and I need to read this one. I was excited that she was gonna be on Birds of Prey, but I haven't even watched the movie because I haven't heard good stuff about it. So
Look good at all. I didn't
I
watch
know.
it.
Give it a chance. So
yeah,
I think people going into that movie really wanted Gotham City Sirens, and when they didn't get it, they kind of like, it's a fun movie to just like enjoy. You're not gonna like try to like look for Easter eggs too much and like compare it to the comics exactly. It's just like it's a fun romp.
yeah, okay, yeah. And I was excited because I mean the Huntress, but I know they were gonna focus probably more on Harley, which I'm like about Harley. uh, but I won't. I'm gonna start reading this series, so we'll see. I'll let you guys know how I like it next week. Yeah, and my next one that I just started watching it, Demon Slayer. I didn't know this was a popular because there's some that I have been watching, some anime that I've been watching, and some of them are not that popular, but this one I guess it is, and oh my god, I freaking love it. It's definitely not for kids. It's pretty rated R, but I'm horrible at names, guys. First of all, really bad at names. I'm just gonna point it out. The little guy with the green little black and green. He is the main character, and his whole family is killed by demons, except the girl next to him, his sister, and she becomes a demon. But he's he becomes a demon slayer, and he's trying to find to see if he can reverse the demon, I guess, and the sister can become human again. But I just, it's such the action, everything is really good. So I'm on season first season. There's only one season so far, what I know, and I believe second season comes out next year, and there's a movie coming out. But I love this. If you guys are anime or manga fans, there's a manga that you can read. I really like this anime. It's on Hulu. We've been watching it on Hulu, so it's available on Hulu. But yeah, those are my picks for this week.
That's a good, unique pick. You always get the good ones. You always pick something that I just never think of. I mean, he's wearing a hog head.
Yeah, he's one of the demon slayers. Those the three guys are demon slayers.
I bet my kids would love it. Is it kid appropriate?
No, it's kind of gory. So, I mean, you watch it and you be the judge of it. But the story is, I really like the story, but it's a little gory for kids. I don't think it will be good, but it's up to you. You
They'll put some hair on their chest, right? They'll come out swinging. They've seen little bits and pieces of Deadpool, so
yeah, I think it's. I mean, if also like some of those monsters,
bad mom.
I mean, no, you were the judge of it, so it's watched an episode or one or two episodes. Like I said, it's pretty kind of like the show when the heads are chopped off and parts of So I mean, you watch the first episode and then we'll see if it's okay for your kids to watch.
Agreed.
But I recommend this. Yeah.
All right. Very nice. Solid picks. Jen, you're up.
Yeah. So Books of Doom is I think it's 1 through 6. Yeah. And I really like the artist Paulo Rivera. For all the 6 are great covers. And then the story is basically like you see his going from a baby in his mom's womb and then him becoming Dr. Doom, right? I I feel like a lot of people don't like this series. I kind of liked it just because it is pre-Doom stuff, and you find out a little bit more, and like what drives him to become this like master at science and like a sorcerer, like magic, and like how his own armor is a good mixture of it. Yeah, and you can usually find it, I think my comic shop was like $7 an issue, but I've found these in dollar issues. So
did his mom play any role in that?
Yeah. So his mom is a sorceress, and like they're from like a gypsy clan, and she makes a deal with what's his name again? Oh, Mephisto, to get like power. But whenever you make a deal with him, like the trade-off's never really worth it. I feel like that's recurring.
Like Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, it's a recurring theme. So like, yeah. So
I want my son to read this because right now with the whole I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, so I'm just gonna pronounce it how I tell him with Fortnite. Did I say it right? Okay. He is Doom right now, so probably he kind of likes this character. So I might have him read this.
Yeah, I mean, like, so it's interesting just because, like, I think someone said that like Ed Brubaker was trying to just like take all the past history and here let's just do a comic to like flesh some of these things out. Like we've seen pieces here and there, but never like a whole like prequel story of Doom. So like if you're curious about it, I would check it out. Like I love the covers, and then I thought the story was interesting just because before we always see Doom as like the badass that he is. It's like, well, how do you become that badass?
Yeah,
I mean, he's not a nice guy. And that comes off in this a couple of times in the story. You're like, oh, that's questionable. Like, okay, but he's a bad guy, so it's like, yeah.
The art's incredible. I'm sold just off the cover.
Yeah, I thought all the covers were beautiful. That's why, like, I've been buying those. I want to get one of your guys's infinity frames because the one I have is like black, and you like close it and you hang on the wall. So I just like hanging the art, but I want to do that infinity frames you guys do because that would probably.
That's actually why we did that. We wanted to keep them as they look like glass because we didn't want to draw away from the book cover itself. The book is the art. This is just meant to hold it up there and hopefully not make the wives or husbands in some cases get mad that you're putting comic book on the wall. But it looks pretty cool when they're hung up.
Yeah. Oh, I think I need some of those.
I'll put it on my list here. I'll tell Anthony, like, ship my girls some frames ASAP.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know if you can get them on the website right now. You might be able to, but check out the website, you guys. Anything at birdcitycomics.com. If you use I muted myself. The promo code Flipside, you get 15% off of your order, I believe. So pretty cool. And then frames, you just have to reach out to us directly. We're running pretty low on like our fourth shipment. They sell fast. So yeah,
that's good. That's good.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah. What else?
Oh, so okay. This came out last year technically, but you had to either have cable, which I do not have, or you had to pay for Amazon Prime. I think it was like $20 or $30 for the season. And I'm frugal, and I really wanted to see it, but I'm like, you know what? They'll put it on Hulu eventually. I'll wait. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally, on November 1st, they put out the whole 10 episodes on Hulu. And I got so excited. I think I texted you guys about it. I was like, season 4 Rick and Morty's finally on Hulu. Yes. Like, it's free on Hulu.
Yeah, it's also I think it was a week before or like midweek. It was available on HBO Max too. Yeah, almost at the same time.
So Hulu, free.
Yeah,
I don't pay for that either, Jen. I'm with you. I'm like, I'll pay for Netflix and Hulu, and that's it. I'm not paying for anything else.
We get HBO Max free because our phones are AT&T. So if you have AT&T, you get it for HBO for free. So we got lucky. But the thing is, it's kind of dumb because our TV doesn't have the app for HBO, we have to do it through our PlayStation.
Oh.
And sometimes our PlayStation, or I don't know if it's the app, it acts up and it freezes. So right now, HBO is kind of pointless anyways for us. So Hulu.
See, well, we didn't Jen, have you watched any of the episodes so far?
I watched all 10 already, like in 2 days. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spread it out. I'm gonna like watch one a day. It'll last me 10 days. And then nope. Like, because it's like next one, I want to keep watching it. Like
I need it.
I've liked Rick and Morty for a really long time. Back when they had the Rickmobile every summer, I went 3.5 hours to Peoria to wait in that line to buy and getting the spaceship, but I haven't opened it yet still because I don't know if I want to open it. Like, like I want to take it out, but it's in that cool box. I might open it up.
Well, give me a spoiler. Is there anything? I mean, is there anything crazier than what we normally expect with Rick and Morty?
I would say this is a very crazy season. You're like, they're doing this? Like, okay. But you don't find out what happened with Evil Morty. So maybe that's next season. You do find out what happens with one arc. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's the intergalactic junk ship with Spaceman and Boy. Yeah,
that is cool.
You have all the cool stuff at your house.
No. Do you read the comics? Have you read any of the comics?
Yeah, I did for a while, and I still like. Okay, so I have issue 1 of a variant of that, and then they just ended it. I think with issue 50 or 45 recently, the past year. Yeah, but they still have like the Dungeons and Dragons one, and they've been having like the one-offs of like Pickle Rick and the Vindicators. Like, I
had those and I sold them because I didn't read them.
Well, I would say they're not as awesome as a TV show, but they're like adjacent. I actually recommend, if you really like Rick and Morty, Murder Hobo. Have you guys heard of Murder Hobo? No, you heard Murder Hobo? Okay, I'll make that my next week thing, and you'll that comic is more along the lines of like a Rick and Morty-esque, like hits that level.
Okay.
Did you answer JJ's question?
What?
He asked, "What did you think of the acid vat episode?"
It was kind of like the Pickle Rick episode of being introspective but that was more of Morty finding out. Wait, whose question? Oh, JJ. Okay, yeah. So I felt like it was more introspective from Morty's point of view. I thought it was enjoyable. Like I like them all. Like I'm at the point where a lot of things that I watch I like because like I'm not in charge of creating it, so I don't want to critique it too hard because I don't have a say. So I just want to enjoy the content. Like I go in with like, oh yeah, the Murder Hope. There you go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Which one is your favorite episode of Rick or Morty? Which is your favorite episode?
Crap.
What about the one when he's playing the piano and they're like in a reality show contest, the singing contest within the universe, and they have to come up with the best song?
What you got.
That was enjoyable.
I don't know what season that was, but
that was fun. Like I feel like they have a lot of fun episodes. I felt bad. Oh yeah, that was he was happy. But see, Jerry is the foil of. Yeah, when you guys watch that episode, you'll see like Morty was happy and then Jerry ruins it. Well, I guess with the help of Rick, kind of. It's just so much fun. Like especially with like I like to watch fun things because there's a lot of like hard things going on right now, and I just like to like turn off the outside world and just like tune in for like.
Just like Anthony, he calls it his brain off time. He's like, I want my brain off. I just want to watch whatever I'm watching and not think about anything else. Whereas I'm like, let's watch the Queen's Gambit. You have to think. It drives them nuts.
Well, I mean, like Rick and Morty, like the continuity's awesome. Like they do such a great job with continuity. Like the one season where they take the house and it goes to another dimension and they bring it back, and then the sidewalk is cracked around the whole entire house for a couple of episodes, if not seasons. And you're like, oh, that's hilarious that they kept that line through there because of what happened.
Wow, that's cool.
Only you would know that.
Continuity.
know?
Continuity.
I want to spend like a day inside your brain and just like wander around.
My husband's favorite episode. It's the commercial one, the ad when.
Intergalactic cable shows. That
one.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, hello, you. Fitz at home. He came to give me a kiss.
Say Aunt Laura. Aunt Laura. We'll work on that
later. That's his favorite episode when they're like, showing all like the commercials while Jerry's in the hospital.
Yeah, that was actually funny. And then I liked when you find out when you follow Beth and Jerry and a life that they could have had.
Oh yes. That one. Then, it's on the second one, another one that they're watching like another. Yeah, because there's that one when they're at the hospital, and then there's the other one when they're like in the living room. Yeah. But I like I like and even Romy will say my personal space.
Nice.
It was perfect for when the whole COVID started. It's like you're my personal space. You're my personal space.
Well, and then what pulled me into looking up voice actors is it Gloopy or the pink guy with the 4 eyes with Don't Make an App? That's Taika Waititi's voice.
Who?
The guy, so do you see in the back of the picture with the four eyes and the pink?
Little jiggly looking dude? Yeah.
Yes, Taika Waititi voiced him.
Ah.
Yeah. And then I was looking at that. I was like, wait a minute. The person who does Beth, do you guys ever watch Scrubs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The blonde in it?
Yeah.
She's Beth's voice. She's the mom.
No way.
Yeah.
That is cool. Wow, I did not know that. You know what? I don't think I ever looked up who did the voices for.
I watched this. It took me three seasons and then this fourth one to like look up. I looked up him and then I was like, wait a minute, Beth, that's the girl from Scrubs. I had no idea. Usually like I'm great with voices. Usually I'll hear a voice and I'm like, oh, so and so. But that one I didn't catch that one.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is cool.
There you go.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, guys. So we are moving on to our weekly review. The three of us, theoretically, are supposed to read a chunk of these books. This week, I dropped the ball a little bit, so the girls are definitely going to be picking up the slack for me. We are covering Thor God of Thunder, issues 11 through 15. Again, my bad. I did not have the opportunity to read them, so I'm kind of playing catch up. But luckily, the amazing Lucy and Jen did read them. So they're going to kind of fill me in here and fill everybody in on what's happening on this series, which is a really good, solid series. We don't feel bad about spoilers because it's been around long enough anyways. So kick us off, Jen.
We kind of messed up again, though, because when I was reading it again, I was like, uh-oh, we end at 15, but the arc goes until like 16 or 17. I was like, oh, dang
Let's
it.
just cover through 16 or 17 then. Let's just
we're going to talk about what we read.
Okay. Well, because that was another thing is that with issue 11, that was actually the it ties it back up, finishes the story with Gore and the God Bomb. The present day Thor ends up using 2 hammers and taking out the God. Oh wait. What was the cool part, Lucy, was that one scene where present day Thor takes in the Necro sword, that like symbiote type thing, and he had like all dark like this, and he like.
I don't remember this part.
That's at the end of issue 11, isn't it?
Yeah, where he gets the stuff from Gore, and it has like one panel, and it's like him being in black up to like his mouth, and you're like, whoa. That's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see what I liked on from moving on, starting on issue 12, which is the new arc. It's like supposedly a 5-issue story arc. What I like is how it started of him showing him how he's trying to be a better god. How before he wasn't they were not that good of a god. And he's going in like the one that it kind of I was like, it kind of, I guess, got me a little bit. He's going to the prison, and he is walking. Oh, he gave like this fruit that it's super rare or something like that, and having the guy for his last meal before he goes on death row or something like that.
Yeah,
And he's walking with him, and the guy is like, "You don't have to do this," It's like, I guess it was really special for him. It was just, I just thought it was like a crazy, like that fruit, and walking him and being with him. I was just, I don't know. I thought it was a crazy panel. I was just like, that's kind of powerful, I guess, kind of thing,
Yeah, because that's what he learns from the end of that story. The previous story is that it leaves off with them defusing the God bomb, and then like all the Thors go back to their own time, and then he goes back to that first girl from the very beginning, from the first issue, and he's like, "Thank you for your prayer," because this is what started.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. So, that's to Jane Foster. So after you leave off with that alien, like he is trying to be a better god, right? Like he's trying to just be a better person. He's probably going to forget about, because it's time travel, right?
Yeah, I think they do say that they're gonna forget about all that, like what happened, and I think they're gonna forget about meeting each other. The three Thors are gonna forget about that, and oh my god, I can't believe I'm remembering all this because I have horrible memory. No, but as we're going, like I remember little, but yeah, so it just starts with them being better, and also they show how he goes to visit Jane, and he learns that she has cancer. And I like how he says, "Who's this cancer?" He wants to go beat up. And then she tells him, like, no, it's just something, it's a sickness that she's sick. And he wants to cure her. Like he has done before, like help her. And she was like, no, I need to be like every, normal person, that they go through that battle. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Like it was cool to see him try to be like, I'll go get you this elixir or this stone. And she's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah. And how he takes her right there in this panel, like to see the sunset. Is it a sunset or a sunrise? I can't remember. Is it a sunset, right? I think.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool, like so romantic. And she has a boyfriend that is not Thor, and he's all a little jealous.
Yeah.
Jen, is this going to be in the upcoming movies then? This storyline is where they're...
Well, Natalie Portman said that it was going to have the cancer storyline, but like things change. I mean, most likely, I feel like it's going to be to give it like some weight, because that was the one thing that after we're done with this and we read that Thor storyline with her going through that, like it's going to have to like draw a ton of parallels just to stay like somewhat relevant.
Okay, Jen, you're gonna help me with this one because, like I said, I'm bad with names and I forget. The blue elf, like when they get that blue elf out of kind of hell or something like that.
Dark elf.
Yeah, the dark elf. So evil little elf. He's not that happy elf. He's not the happy elf.
He's not an elf on the shelf.
No. And how he goes and he's destroying and killing his own people, and the one girl that she survives and they cut her. That little one, the trucker. Look at him; he looks scary as yeah. How do you say? Malekith. Okay. Yeah, he's so scary. I think he's scarier than Gore.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's creepier. Yeah, I don't know. Especially on that other picture when he's like down in the hair, he's all looks creepy. But yeah, he when he chops that girl's arm, and when they're trying to go back and battle, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going with you guys," and they put back. She's like, "Oh, but you don't have an arm. You're still healing." And she grabs a branch and she just like sticks it, and it grows kind of like Groot, that was
No,
pretty like, dude, she's badass.
Yeah, all the elves have like a magical quality. It's funny because when I was rereading this, I was like, Malekith, wasn't he in Thor Dark World?
I don't remember.
So Thor Dark World, I know people don't really like that movie. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, and then I looked into him more, and I was like, oh, like he's been around since the 80s, and I don't know why, from my weird memory, I thought that Jason Aaron like came up with him, and like, oh, I found out that he just like revitalized him, like he used him. But I liked how Jason Aaron used him. Malekith and Thor Dark World, interesting.
That is cool. Now I remember. Now I see him because I honestly trying to picture him like have a comic. Silly me. I don't know why. Like being no blue, but his eyes are blue. So
yeah, that's from the 80s.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think I found it was like Thor 344 to 349 is like his first
appearance.
Appearance. Yeah, and Thor.
And do you think those issues are either cheap like to get or
it should be now? Thor Dark World was kind of a tank, and so there's times I have, so it sucks. Sometimes I'm looking through like the teas, and then a guy will be like, hey, I'm looking for one comic, can I just like jump in? And I'm like, okay, because I don't know how to say no.
Just say no.
I know.
Like, I don't know. Wait.
But it was in a dollar bin, and then this guy pulled that one out. He pulled out that Thor, that one that you're seeing right now on screen, and I was like, oh. And he's like, oh, did you want that? And I'm like,
and then yes, that's what I was looking for.
Exactly. Put your foot down, Jen. You can do it.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, there. If you look in the back issue bins, you can find it again. Like,
okay. Oh wow! Anything else you want to add, Jan?
So, I thought it was cool when that guy broke him out of the prison. It kind of, I don't know if you guys watched Legend of Korra when they break out Zaire.
Anthony made me. He's like, Laura, you're watching this whether you like it or not. I actually ended up liking it though. So
nice. You did watch it? You did watch it?
I did, yeah. It was when you first brought it up. Gosh, at one of our first episodes, you brought it up, and Anthony and I went and we sat down on the couch and we started from episode 1. And at first I was like, okay, this is too similar to the movie. He's like, because the first episode, I'm like, But then it slowly got very deep, really fast. Yeah.
Did you watch the Legend of Korra?
No, I didn't.
I muted myself because I'm trying to like learn to do that, and I'm forgetting to unmute it. Sorry. Continue. Ignore me.
So basically, when the Dark Elf breaks out Malekith, it reminded me a lot of them breaking out. Or how they had Zaire imprisoned, like away in chains, because he was like in a prison, and then they got him out, and then he's kind of just tearing rampage. Doesn't care who. It's mostly his own Dark Elves, because he feels like he said that they were sucking at the teat of the Asgardians. And so he's kind of upset with them for putting him away. And
oh hell no! I was talking about never mind. I was talking about something else. I was talking about the Last Airbender.
Yeah, it goes Last Airbender, and then it goes Legend of Korra.
I know, but when I was saying it was too much like the movie, I was talking about the Last Airbender episode. So my bad.
Look, okay, that movie, besides being like when you first watch it, and he says his name is Ong, I was like, wait a minute. There's a whole cartoon series where they call him Aang. Why are they calling him Ong? Anyway, the cartoon's better.
All right. How does this arc end?
So when we last leave it, Thor, and he has like a new band besides that Dark Elf that has one arm, but she's a badass. He has a couple other people in his crew, not the people we're used to seeing like Sif or the Warriors 3. It's a new band. And they're trying to go after him, and they just keep losing. And they go get the giant Malekith goes inside and then like comes out his forehead. So like, and then they turn around and then they have this army. Oh yeah, there you go. That giant in the back. dies. And then when they turn around, it's those like dark elf giants, and you're like,
Holy shit, Smiths. Yeah. Oh, hell.
and it was because I read this, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do what Laura and Lucy did and look at Comic Storian, and then I was like watching it, and I was like, he completely left out the Malekith storyline. I'm like, that's funny that when I try to use it, it's not there.
I was looking for it too. So like, because I read it first and then I was like, maybe it can like help me understand better, which I was fine. I just wanted to see what he had to say about it or how did he explain it. But I didn't see that part. It's just like the other one. I don't know if he kept going because I didn't see that. I didn't see
I stopped it because I saw parts of it. So I saw parts of, because they mentioned the Roxanne Corporation, and then you meet that girl from S.H.I.E.L.D. that he starts kind of dating, and then like that's it. And then it goes into the Malekith storyline, and it just kind of glossed right over it. And I was like, no, those issues that he's talking about come later. And I was like, oh, of course, when I try to use it to like get something
Sorry,
else,
cheat like us. But look at his booty crack. Just kidding.
So
I can't hear you, Laura. I can't hear you.
Well,
is it off?
Oh,
we lost you, Laura.
Wait. Okay, she's gonna do something. So God of Thunder. Look forward to
this. I like this story arc. I liked it.
Well, so I think next time we'll do issues 16 through 23 because that's like finishing this arc and then the new arc, right? Because that'll tie together, and then so that'll be next week.
Let's see. Well, we'll see like right here where Brian's putting it shows like the books so where we're at and
then so we'll do 16 to 23, and then the week after we'll just do a nice wrap up of the last two, and then like the series.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I liked it. I like it. I'm liking this. Like, and now it makes me want to own the books. That I know it's not going to be cheap.
Well, I would try because so the next Comic-Con, I don't know if anyone else saw it, but C2E2 has been pushed until December of 2021. So I don't know if there's going to be another one before that, but I think it'd be really cool if we could all get together, and then what we could do is hunt.
Testing.
Oh, yep,
we got it. We got you back.
Hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think what we'll do is maybe we know of this one now, but we'll see what the big first convention is or second convention, and maybe we'll all get together and we'll hunt. And I'm telling you, you can find.
I would love to go on comic book hunting with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
I want to pay EB prices. I need to find like good deals.
Yeah, I'm not. I think once I'm there, when I would want to go and look for books, but once I'm there, I think I kind of like I feel like I forget everything because I'm like, so like I want to find the books that I want, and I try to make a list, but then sometimes I even forget about the damn list. So,
you guys, if you haven't already, make sure that you are checking out Lucy's YouTube channel. She has really cool, true ghost stories. How can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Mama Comic, or Instagram, and same as Mama Comic. And you can go and look at my YouTube channel.
Yep, check it out and make sure that you subscribe to the page. Follow all three of us. We are all on Instagram. We appreciate you guys coming out. Do us a favor and make sure that you are spreading the word. We want to get as many women, not just women, we want to get as many people into Comic Book Women as possible. So make sure that you're reaching out. Let people know that we are here. We go live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we have another great show. The week after that, we have a really great show. So you just got to stick with us. It's going to keep getting better and better. So I think that's it for us tonight. Have a good night.
Bye.